Hi, this is Chad from MiPlaniT, and today we're going to talk about the shopping tool. So we're going to start off here on the dashboard, and as you see on this dashboard, the first thing you're going to see is this My Lists. That's a category of all your lists. But if somebody shares a list to you, you will see one other category called Shared Lists. So there's really just those two different categories of lists. Another thing I want to point out is any list that you have has certain kind of features that you should be aware of. And one here is this potluck example. I have a people icon there. If I click on that people icon, it's going to show me who I shared the list with, and me being the owner because it's my list. If you did not share a list to somebody, you're not going to see that people icon, so don't let it freak you out. On the right side, you're going to see that blue little number 2. That blue little number 2 is how many items do I have left in my shopping list that I have not yet completed. So if I click on this potluck list, I have 2 items in there. All right. There's also swiping capability on the dashboard, so both left and right swiping. If I swipe to the left, it shows me the delete icon, which means I can delete the list. If I swipe to the right, I get 3 different options. One is edit. If I click on edit, that allows me to edit the name or the color and customize my list. If I click on share, it's allowing me to share this shopping list to somebody else. And then if I click on print, it's just a way for me to print off a hard copy and maybe bring it to the store or whatever so that I have it in hand. Now, let's create a list. On the bottom right, again, just like in to-dos, we have a plus icon. If I click on that plus, I can enter in a name of a list. Today happens to be Super Bowl Sunday, so let's create a Super Bowl list. And I can select a background color to customize my list, so let's select green. I can add an image for this list. I could either upload a picture by simply selecting one from my gallery or taking one with my camera, or I can just select one of the standard images, which is what I'll do right now. I'll select this dog and I'll click save. So now we have a Super Bowl list. Now let's add some items to it. So if I click the plus again, it gives me some different options here. So I want to spend a little time on this screen. One is by simply browsing, right? We have a bunch of standard items. Now, you can create your own items, which I'll talk about it in a sec, but if you want to find just an actual standard item, you click on this categories, and it enables you to kind of go around, go into different categories, look at all the items in there, and if you wanted to add one, you could simply just click it. Like, for example, if I want Parmesan cheese there, I'll click it, I'll hit the number 1, and now I've added Parmesan cheese to my Super Bowl list. And how I can tell is in the upper right corner, you see that little icon that has the number 1. That is showing me how many items I have in my list. Now, we do that intentionally because you're going to probably want to add more than one thing to your list. So it's not advisable really to add one item, see the list, add one item, see the list. You want to instead just add a whole bunch of items first and then go look at your entire list. You can sort by different ways. You can sort it alphabetically or whatever to kind of help you find things. Another thing you can do is you can add your own categories. So if I click up here by the add new by categories, I could add something like, for example, sometimes my wife sends me to the grocery store and she knows the store so well that she knows it by aisle. And so she might want to create something that's basically like, aisle 2 or something like that, and create that as a category. That way, when she's creating custom items, she can then add those custom items to that category, right? So we'll get to that in a sec, but I just wanted to quick show you how to add a category there. Recent items are things that I obviously have recently picked and added to a list. And sometimes you want to do things, more than once for different reasons, whether you're going to the grocery store every couple days. It's a quick way to find things you'd found before. And favorites is as you go along and you create items, you can favorite them so that you can just go into your favorite section, pick out your items, and add them to a list. On the bottom is an easy way to. Now, it says add, excuse me, I'll quick go back there. It says add and search items. So you can search out of all of the custom items that MiPlaniT has. For example, if I just wanted to find bread or something like that, I'd type in bread, and it shows me all the things that have the word bread in them. That way I can just quickly find it, click it. So that is different than the browsing of categories. Another thing you can do, though, is maybe there's an item that doesn't exist in the MiPlaniT list. So let's try to find something like, I don't know, toothpicks or something weird. Okay. So toothpicks are not in there. So when I try to search it, instead, I'm going to hit this plus button to add toothpicks as an item. And that way it's going to store it so that you can reuse it for all future lists that you create. I can take a picture of it and store it in as this for this item. This is a really handy feature. A lot of times my wife will send me to the grocery store and she wants a very specific brand of bread or whatever, and she doesn't trust me, so she will take a picture of it so that when I'm in the store and I'm using the tool, I can see the actual picture of what I'm supposed to find. I can then also categorize it. So maybe this is in our aisle 2, and I can select aisle 2 here and hit done. And now I've added toothpicks to the category aisle 2. I can also select a due date, just like in to-dos, like when you want this thing picked up. That would also trigger the remind me, like tell me 15 minutes before or an hour before. And then I can add other details as well. I can add, the store. I can add the brand. I can add a target price. I can add a URL of where to find it, because maybe the shopping list is an online shopping list, right? And then you can add notes as well, like, telling your spouse or whatever a specific note, or somebody you're sharing a list with, something special about this item. All right, so now that we've done that, if I go in here, another thing you can do is just start clicking things. So for example, if I want headphones, I select the headphone, I hit the number 1, and as you can see again in the upper right hand corner of the screen, my list went to number 2. And what if I want an iron? This is the weirdest shopping list ever, but I'll hit the iron. Maybe I want 2 irons. I don't know why, but now you see it's 3. So it's that easy to add items to your list. It's easy to customize and add items to your list. Now, if I want to get to the list to see what do I have so far, I can simply click on that number 3. And when I click on that number 3, it brings me right to the list. So now I see what I have here. A lot like to-dos, this has some features here as well that are very similar. One is the filter, which looks like this magnifying glass. So if I click on that and I had a very long shopping list, I could start typing in and looking, oh, do I have irons in there? Yeah, of course I do. So a way to filter it. The other thing is this edit button. So if I hit the edit button, I can again select everything, unselect everything. I can individually select items, and as I select them, I can either move them to a new list or an existing list. I can favorite items so that they show up in that favorites category. The perfect great example for that is if you're going to the grocery store every week and every week you get coffee or whatever, favorite that item so it's really quick and easy to find. I can also group select things that I have completed. So sending them and saying, hey, I've already accomplished these things, or I can delete them as well, right? So I'm going to cancel out of there. We also have the swipe capability to delete as well, so you can swipe to the left on any of these items and just hit delete if you wanted. When I'm within my list, I can select a little circle on one of these, like let's say I was in the store and I got the irons, I'd select that irons. Now it's in my completed on the bottom, and you can undo those as well. So if I go back to the dashboard, you're now going to see that I have a Super Bowl list. If I clicked on that list, it's got the 2 items in there. On the bottom of the screen, you can see I have my 1 completed item where I got the irons, and that should do it for you. So hopefully you found this very helpful. Thank you very much.